What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. In today's video, I'm going to go over every single game in college football for Thursday. I'll have separate videos out for Friday, Saturday, and the whole remainder of the season. I will be covering every single game this year in both college football and in the NFL. And speaking of the NFL, I already have a video out here on my channel that goes over my spread predictions for every single game in week 1. So feel free to check out that video after this one is over. It's just exciting to really be in football full swing. The first weekend, I mean, I don't know if you guys made money. I don't know if you enjoyed it, but it was kind of a tease, man. It was nice to have college football back, but having the best game of the weekend in a different country. And I don't know, some of the others were just kind of lacking. I don't know. It just didn't feel great to me. So it's exciting to have our first kind of full slate here and we can really get after it. I was 1-2 on that first weekend. So we did take the points with Georgia Tech. I knew it was too many points. We took the points against the spread, cashed a ticket there. But I put a much larger wager with an alternative spread in a 2-leg parlay with Florida State, minus 2.5. I thought they'd kind of grind out a win somewhere between a field goal and a touchdown, maybe win by 3 or 4 or 6 or 7. And I figured somehow, some way they'd get the W. Just so much on the line for them. I thought they'd really have a chip on their shoulder in terms of their competitiveness coming off what happened last year, not making the college football playoff. And I couldn't be more wrong. I'm transparent here, and I was dead wrong. Should have just took, a small wager on Georgia Tech and just left that game alone as is. Florida State is soft. They're really, really soft, really, really weak. And DJU, he is absolutely horrendous. He's going to be flipping burgers and fries for a career, man, as soon as this football thing is up. He's horrendous. He's horrible. I would gladly, grab that football, grab the helmet I got from College Game Day in Morgantown and get my ass on the field and see what I could do. I mean, you just got to cut ties with this DJU guy on Florida State. He is not the guy. And there's no way you're just going to be able to fucking limp this guy through the season. Cut him right now. He's fucking done. Sit your ass on the bench. Whatever 5-star, 4-star young guys they got in that program, because Florida State's pretty impressive, man. You got to just get them in the game and give them a shot. DJU is not the answer. And then the one other loss in that 1-2 record, we took a live bet opportunity on SMU. I knew the points were too many. I didn't want to go against them because of all the hype and the talent that they have on the roster. But I wasn't going to lay the big number of 28.5 points. But we got a live bet opportunity to take them at less than a touchdown. We took our shot. I think it was 6.5. Maybe it was 5.5. I can't remember what it was. But it came up just short. So we took a value play on a huge favorite at a much better number. Maybe it was at halftime. Just a lot of football left. I thought they would probably figure it out and win by 10-14. And we came up just shy, down about 5 units after 1 weekend of betting college football. Now, 5 units for me in baseball would be pretty substantial. I mean, on the upper end of things. But in football, I mean, my average wager just goes through the roof. We're talking 2, 3, 5 unit plays on a weekly basis. 5 units is barely scratching the surface here. In fact, I have 2 plays that will be sent out to the client list this Thursday that are 5 units each, plus all the rest of the ones for the weekend. So looking for a big weekend here, guys. Our first official week, our full week, a full slate, just plenty of opportunities out there. Some spots that are just mispriced. I mean, they're just wildly mispriced, probably 10 points off, 7 to 10 points off. And we're going to hammer them. We're absolutely going to hammer them. If you guys want those plays, if you want to know what I'm betting on football on a weekly basis, you can get my plays, man. A week, a month, whatever you want to do. It's up to you guys. But I do have a link to my website in the description of this video, danspicks.net. You'll go on the text list, simple text message, hits your phone, the plays, how many units I put on each, and the odds that I got it at. Pretty simple. We crushed it last year. We're going to crush it this year. It was a slow start. No biggie. I'm not worried. This week, it's going to be fantastic. Let's get into these Thursday games. Friday's a little bit of a shorter slate, but Thursday, they loaded up just nicely. It's a pretty good looking Thursday. We'll look at some money splits too for you guys. Tell you a little bit about some sharp money on some of these games, some of the bigger contests we'll look into. Let's pull it up, man. I'm going to use FanDuel for this, just for the lines. The first game here is Howard and Rutgers. I'm not going to speak too much about this. Rutgers is a team that I think they're going to grind out a comfortable win. I don't want to lay 36.5 for the team that I'm not sure has offensive firepower. The game total is less than 50. I see this more as maybe a 34 to 10 type of a game. I mean, that would put the spread of the game around 24. I think 36.5 is a little bit too high, but I'm not going to be taking Howard. This one's pretty much a pass for me. there's some other ways to look at it, team totals and things like that. Not a great game here. New Hampshire and UCF. So for the level of competition and for the overall like football that New Hampshire plays in, they're actually pretty good. But UCF, man, KJ Jefferson, pretty good coaching, pretty good program overall, Big 12 team. They're going to take care of business here. I don't think 40.5 is enough. I'd be looking to lay the points. I think offensively, the UCF team is enough firepower to get us up and over, into a winning margin of at least 40 points here. You could also look at the first half. Let me see if the line is up for that. It is not. So there's there's only so much stuff available as I record this video. In terms of the total, 63.5 points. I think I'd look under. I think UCF defense will be pretty good this year as well. I don't see New Hampshire scoring anything more than single digits in this game. So even if UCF goes off here, to get to 63.5, I do think we would need, a few touchdowns here, a touchdown, a field goal, at least like a decent amount of points, 13-17, at least from New Hampshire to get us over 63.5. I don't think New Hampshire is going to score much at all. If they have a 0 on the board, it wouldn't shock me. This game kind of just screams like, 51-6 type of a thing. I'm not really sure. I'd go with UCF. I'd lay the points. I'd go under the total. Jackson State, UL Monroe, no real opinion on this one. I'm just going to pass respectfully. I'm not going to waste your time on games I don't feel strongly about. I try to focus on power football for the most part. Central Connecticut, Central Michigan, kind of the same thing here, but Central Michigan, man, even though they're kind of one of these off the radar teams, not one of the big boy conferences, pretty good program. Pretty good program. Central Connecticut, not too familiar with them, but they got to absolutely blow. I think 31.5 is a fine number. I think it's a fair price. I'd probably look into laying the points with Central Michigan. North Carolina A&T versus Wake, 34.5. I mean, Wake's a good, solid team. What scares me here is the point total in this game is only around 50. It's 50.5. I don't love it, man. I don't love it. I don't know about Wake Forest defense. I know they're going to be able to score a fair amount in this game. I think if North Carolina A&T can get somewhere around 10 to 13 points, they may be able to get a cover out of this one. This is just kind of a pass for me. Western Carolina and NC State, very similar. We have similar talent, a similar spread. NC State, a good team. They're just not great, and I just don't think they have enough here to have a spread that's in the mid-30s, 33.5. It feels a little bit rich. Look, I know they're ranked. This is not a top 25 team. NC State, I mean, it's just insane. It is insane that West Virginia University is not ranked and NC State is ranked. That is crazy land. A total up around 60.5. I think Western Carolina can score some points here. I'm not really sure. This is just a coin flip type of a thing. I see no value here. I got to kind of pass on that one. Duquesne and Toledo, same thing, man. Toledo's going to win this one pretty comfortably. Can they win it by a margin of over 28.5? I really don't know, man. Duquesne's, it's kind of a low total here, 52.5. Kind of a grind out game. I think I'd be taking the points with Duquesne and probably plugging my nose, covering my eyes and ears, and just checking the score when that thing's done. Arkansas, Pine Bluff, and Arkansas. Absolutely no opinion here. Arkansas was horrendous last year. They're playing an absolute nobody, but this might be 47-0. They might come up just short. This one's tough. I think I'd be going under the total of 57.5 in this game, more so than going with the spread. Northwestern State and Tulsa. So a lot of these games, man, where I see clear-cut winners by good margin, but by like 30, 40 points type of a margin, it's just tough to say, man. We're going to need a week or two and probably 3 to really, really know what these teams are. I would say the bread and butter, the most profitable time of college football is probably week 3, 2 or 3 through, just about the end of regular season. So week 1, it's tough. I'd probably look at Tulsa here, but it's just a lean at best. North Dakota State and Colorado. See, here's the interesting thing. When you guys see spreads of 9.5, I know you're going to be so tempted to take the favorite. We all know the hype about Colorado and Dion and, Shedeur and Mr. Hunter over there. And look, they got some good skill players. They've really boosted their staff, which I like. I think it's important to have a good staff. I think they'll be a pretty disciplined, focused team. I mean, these guys are competitive. These are gamers over there in Colorado. North Dakota State, man, they're no slouch. They're no slouch, and I think they're playing with house money. I think it's dangerous. I just think it's way too easy, man. Low-hanging fruit. I mean, we're going to take Colorado, 9.5. Everybody's thinking about that key number of 10. It's like, okay, well, we're under 10. You know, we should grab the spread while it's 9.5. I think it's low-hanging fruit, man. I think this one's going to surprise some people. I'm not going to bet this one, but I'd be leaning towards the points. I would probably buy the 0.5 point and take +10 with North Dakota State. And I do think enough money will be coming in on Colorado to bump this to 10, maybe even 10.5 by kickoff. So be patient if you like the underdog. I do think you can get a double-digit spread with North Dakota State, but just on the line being at 9.5 right now, I think the books are begging people to just slam Colorado with the single-digit spread, and I think that's just too easy. I'd be looking at the over in this game. I think Colorado's offense will pretty much score at will, but I think North Dakota State is going to score as well. So I'd be looking over 59.5. I'd probably be looking at points with the away team. Alcorn State UAB and Southeast Louisiana and Tulane. No opinions on those two. Again, pretty big blowout type of games. Not as substantial as those other ones we talked about. I haven't put in any thought in those games. I haven't done any research. My opinion is basically worthless. I'd be guessing, so I'm not even going to try for you guys. Coastal Carolina, 2.5 point dog here on the road against Jacksonville State. Interesting. This is also one of those where the short favorite under a field goal seems very, very tempting to take it home. I think just the overall program of Coastal here is still going to hold enough weight to where I like them in a game like this, a week 1 game. They're coming in, they're a slight underdog. They're going to be playing with house money. I think I'd be looking at a slight upset here. It's a small upset. We're talking 2.5 point spread, at least what I'm seeing right now. I'd be taking the points with Coastal in this one. North Carolina and Minnesota. This is a great game, maybe one of the better games on Thursday. This spread has been all around. I mean, we had Carolina as a small favorite. Minnesota was a small favorite. Now North Carolina is back -1.5. The wrong team's favored, in my opinion. There's no way I'm taking North Carolina, laying any type of points, even a short money line price of -120. Anything considered being a favorite on the road against a Big Ten team. This is week 1, people. So in college football, home field advantage is already pretty significant. We know this. It's a night game. It's game 1. They're going to be rowdy. Big Ten environment. I think they're tougher in the trenches. Is there a coaching advantage for North Carolina? Are there a couple skill position players on North Carolina that are better? Yeah, the running back, he's an NFL quality guy. He's nasty. He's one of the best running backs in the country for the Tar Heels, but that's not enough, man. And this Minnesota team, they play in the Big Ten, stingy team. I see no reason why they're the dog here. I will take the 1.5 points. I do think this is going to be an extremely competitive, close game. It's not crazy to think a game couldn't be 23-24, 26-27, 30-31, 27-28. There are a lot of scenarios in football where a 1-point victory is, the ultimate margin. Don't be greedy, guys. I know you want to hunt down some underdogs and stuff, but in a game as close to this, a low total, right around 50.5, I think it probably might even go under that. This is going to be a good, competitive, low-scoring football game. I am absolutely thinking about taking the 1.5 points with Minnesota. Again, ACC on the road, week 1 against a Big Ten team and laying 1.5. No. The wrong team's favored. Absolutely. I mean, that's like crazy land. You just lost some NFL talent. No, that's wrong. That's wild. Like, what are you doing? What are you doing, bookmakers? Lindenwood versus Kansas, the Jayhawks here. They're laying quite a hefty number here at 44.5 points. I don't think it's enough, man. I don't think it's enough. That offense is nasty. I know we're basketball people too. And when we think of the Kansas Jayhawks, we think of Bill Self and, Kansas just running the Big 12 and Seeing them in March Madness. This football team is good, man. That coach is elite. I mean, tippy top of the mark. He's exceptional, man. He's a top 10 coach in the country. We got Daniels back at quarterback. I know his health was a question mark last year, and it was so tough not to see him play in all those games. They're lucky they had Bean there. But they got like 3 of their top 4 receivers back. They got the running backs back. The quarterback's going to be at least healthy through game 1. I mean, my God, Kansas is going to pretty much score at will. I think I mean, there's always a couple games, man. There's always a couple games in week 1 that are 60-0, 70-10, just like these crazy games. I think this is one of them, man. I think this is one of them. I'd be looking at Kansas. I know 44.5 is a wild spread, but I'd lay the points with the Jayhawks. Murray State, Missouri, sort of a similar thing here. Missouri just should be lethal offensively. But the thing here is I think it might be worth looking at Missouri in the first half. This is a team that I think can score a lot when they're actively going through the air. If it's a huge blowout, maybe they're a little conservative, knowing the nastiness that comes with the SEC. You don't want people hurt. You don't have to prove anything now. You'll have plenty of opportunities based on your schedule. I could really see them kind of taking their foot off the gas and coasting through the end of the game. So I'm not sure I'd lay the big number with Missouri here. I for sure wouldn't take the other side. It's a Missouri or pass. Missouri has the ability to blow this team out by 50 plus. The total on the game's 57.5. It's a tough one, guys. I think it's very, very small lean of Mizzou. And then Southern Utah and Utah. Utah quarterback is finally rocking and rolling. Man, it feels like he's 30 years old at this point. Great defensive team in the Big 12. I expect big things from Utah this year. They should make the college football playoff this year, I think. 38.5, though. I mean, this is kind of a defensive team. The quarterback missed a lot of time. Could he have a little bit of rust? Just a little bit of a slow start? I mean, Southern Utah is trash, but 38.5. I don't think I can lay the points in this one. The total's at 52.5, a little bit on the low side. This is probably a pass. Maybe look at a first half spread with Utah in this one. But again, like I mentioned, maybe a little bit of rust on that quarterback, a little bit sketchy. Eastern Illinois and Illinois, I have no idea here. I'm not familiar with Eastern Illinois. And I know Illinois has taken quite a, what can we say? Like a 3-4 year kind of decline here. Not a great program right now. I'd be looking at the under 44.5 in this one. I just don't think the offenses are that impressive. In the last game here for Thursday, Sacramento State and San Jose State. I mean, I have absolutely no idea. I really don't know. San Jose State, I know they're pretty good. I watched a couple of their games last year, but are they worth, a 3.5 point favorite here over Sacramento State? Probably. Maybe just look at over 60.5. I don't think that number is quite high enough. San Jose State's got a pretty good offense. I think they're going to be able to score. I don't know how much faith I have in their defense, especially their secondary. So I'd probably be leaning over the total in that last game. Yeah, I mean, Friday's exceptional too. I'd say you could argue that Friday's even got some better games. So again, probably tomorrow. Yeah, I mean, definitely tomorrow I'll have the video out for Friday. The day after that, I'll have the video out for the Saturday games. And I will be live streaming every single weekend on Saturday morning, kind of, reacting to College Game Day and some stuff like that, taking questions from you guys in real time, just like I did last year. Unfortunately, for this Saturday, I won't be here. I won't be here in the room where I can, live stream and talk to you guys and have my computer and everything. I'll be tailgating in the Blue Lot in Morgantown, about to watch Penn State and West Virginia go down, the Fox Big Noon kickoff game. I will be in town. Watch for me on TV. If you're in town, if you're going to the game, hit me up. I got all the tailgate connections. I got all the connections for this and that. I'll be going out Thursday through basically Sunday in Morgantown. Then I'm headed to Nashville. So for a short while, guys, the videos will be, I'll just be posting YouTube shorts, and I might even do some videos like this. I'm going to take my computer with me. I'm going to take my camera, maybe a microphone or something. and just kind of cob job like some setups in whatever hotels and Airbnbs and houses and content houses and girls' houses that I'm staying in. So yeah, I'll try to get as many videos as I can up here, but I'm leaving here, New York, on Thursday. So I'll have everything pre-recorded. Excuse me. I'll have everything pre-recorded for the first full weekend here of college football to at least get you guys, the spread predictions. And I guess we'll have to wait for week 2 or 3 to get the live streams and all the normal scheduling for football all finalized. So good luck, everybody. I'll catch you in the next video.